Aloha, everyone. For those of you who want to see the cards being shuffled and picked, I decided to put that on there as well. So our question today is, what blessings, what positive change is this eclipse season bringing to you? All right, let's give these a good shuffle. We've got the archetype cards, and we're also going to pick some runes for those who need it. All right, so that one was almost. For pile one, please. Okay, this one's pile one. We have the flame, pile one. There we go. All right. Pile two, the threshold. There we go. And then pile three, almost. Let's see. This guy is the sword. All right. And then we'll pull some runes for pile one. Is constraint. Oops. That goes there. Let's see. We'll figure this one out. Pile two is the self. And pile three is opening. All right, you guys, that's what we have. Pile one, the flame with constraint. Pile two, the threshold with the self. And pile three, the sword with opening. Aloha, pile one. This is Stephanie with the Whispering Dragonfly coming to you with the question of what positive change is coming into your life during this eclipse season. So we just had an eclipse on September 17th, 2024. Though this is a timeless reading, these are the energies that are going to be present here. So we had the eclipse. We also had equinox. And then upcoming on October 2nd, we'll have the next eclipse as well, right? So that's a solar eclipse. So every year we have 4 eclipses around the change of season at solstice and equinox. And so now we're at equinox, moving into our fall and winter times. In the northern hemisphere, in the southern hemisphere, you will be going into spring and summer. So eclipses always eclipse things out of life quickly. It has a very Uranian type of energy. It'll eclipse things into your life very quickly. And so there's changes that are up. I will be doing a video coming up about the surrounding energies of Pluto's transit right now, and Pluto being in its last throes of Capricorn and having that particular transformation. So we are all going through collectively a huge process of finishing up a 16-year cycle. But for now, we'll just look at the eclipses, but that is in the background frequency as well. So if you don't know me, I'm Stephanie. I am an author and an NLP coach. I own Pueo Organics, so I make beautiful skin and skincare out of noni leaf. So you can check that out at a different time. I will leave all of that in my description box below. And so I'm coming to you from Maui, and we just talk about spiritual things here. We use tarot as a tool to move through the energies. We're not here to tell your fortune. We're here to see what the energies are, and then you can make a decision in your sovereignty of how you'd like to proceed. So, all right, let's get to it. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment. All of those things really help to make my channel grow and expand, and they're free for you to do. So I'm very happy to have that. I would like to make an announcement before we get started. For those of you who don't quite stay till the end, I would appreciate if you do, but some do not. For my coaching services and my sessions, through November 19th, I'm going to do that donation-based. So I'm typically $225 US dollars an hour, or however long it takes. Sometimes it's about an hour and a half. But because of these energies that we have right now of great change, especially in the US going through their Uranus return. So I know a lot of us are going through a death and rebirth process of the ego death. There's a lot of changes that are happening, and I'm here to help you be in your sovereignty, to help you be able to navigate these changes as yourself and be able to feel, you can be uncomfortable, but to feel confident enough to move forward in whatever choices that you make. And so I'm going to do that donation based. If you have the money, for my clients who have had sessions with me, please share with others in the comments what has happened for you, what you have received through working with me, so that those who maybe haven't yet can have the confidence to have some help and guidance through this time. So I do invite you guys to do that. Those of you who have the money and that are wealthy, please consider paying it forward and maybe buying a session for someone else, so that those who can donate very little, that they can also get their needs met as well. I really feel it's strong on my heart right now that we all need a little bit of guidance, and we may not all financially be able to do what we need to do at this moment because of all the changes. So I feel like as a group, a village, a community, as a collective, that we're all at different stages and we can help each other out, right? So that's my offering to you. To book an appointment with me, that will be in the description box below. You can just email me and we will set up a time to do a Zoom call, okay? So enough about that. Let's get to it. All right, you guys chose the flame. And we have the rune of constraint as well. But what I feel like with this one is that, excuse me, I've been clearing and purging myself. So what I feel like with this is that you are coming into your own spark. For pile one, the energy that I'm getting right off is that you have felt a good deal of constraint, a good deal of feeling like you have ideas, you have things you'd like to do, but you haven't been able to act on them yet. And it's been, because as I took that breath, it really caught in my chest on the left side. You've really been in this process of wanting to move forward, but really feeling like you're constrained. Now, the purpose of constraint is actually to help you to retreat back so that you can fix your nets, as it were, like we do that on the Ole moons here, the non-productive moons. You fix your nets, you prepare, you do what you need to do for the incoming spark, the incoming movement. And so I feel like you've been in a preparation cycle where there hasn't been much movement, or the movement that you've tried to do, even trying to speak, is hard right now. It's like the words and ideas are coming faster than my mouth is able to move. And so I feel like you've had that kind of feeling a little bit held back. And that's about to change. So these eclipses are helping, saying that you have done the preparation period, okay? That you have completed the preparation, and that constraint has served you. Because had you moved forward, either with your career idea, or with your new health plan, or with your relationship that you were wanting, some of you might be calling in a soulmate, or I don't like using the word twin flame. That story has been distorted, but you're calling in your counterpart there that you'd like to do life with, some of you. And it hasn't necessarily been easy, right? But that's because you're moving into a new sector, a new flame. And had you started it then, it would not have yielded the results that you wanted it to yield. I'm loving these cards for you. I just pulled your oracle cards. So we have the flame. Excuse me. These are the archetype cards. So the flame, this is talking about your inner spark, the spark of the divine, that sovereignty, that flame that is within you is about to reignite. It may already be reigniting. And what they're showing me right here is this face in the dark here. Can you see kind of the eyeball and the nose there? in this pyramid. So you have kind of been walking in the dark for some time, but this flame is reigniting inside you. Your sacred destiny, your oracle cards, we got pleasure, security, and inner peace. So this eclipse is actually removing certain constraints. It may be asking you to walk away from certain things in order to have pleasure, security, and inner peace. So while you're moving through these changes during this eclipse season, this is the question to ask yourself. Does this spark my flame? Or if you're moving house or organizing, I just saw Marie Kondo, or does it spark joy? Okay. Do I feel peaceful making this move? Am I inner peace? You can have chaos outside of you and still have inner peace, okay? Because there's always going to be chaos and movement. But are you in the eye of the storm here? And we just had the Pisces eclipse, the lunar eclipse, and we have the two fish here of Pisces, inner peace. They're asking you to move through that. We have pleasure with a deer on there. Deers represent gentleness and power and kindness and gentleness and knowing when to retreat and when to come through. And then we have the security of the cave and the stars and the night sky. All three of these have the night sky. Okay, so some of you may be more lunar beings on this one, and you're igniting the flame to see through that dark. So the questions to ask yourself as things come up, because eclipses can bring really wonky energy. We've got a lot of Uranian energy. We've got Pluto doing its thing. We've got a lot of disruptive type of energy right now collectively. So what this is saying is, pile one, you're going to move through this asking yourself the question, am I moving towards pleasure or am I just moving away from pain? Okay, or am I moving towards pain? You want to be moving towards pleasure. That's your destiny with this one, okay? Does this decision or choice, does continuing with this person, a relationship, this job, does this continuing with this way that I nourish myself, is it conducive to inner peace? Does this decision bring me inner peace? The part that you can control, your choices, and security. What do I need to feel secure? Is that an emotion? Is it a financial amount? Is it great people around you? Is it a relationship? But you have to find that inside yourself. So these questions are saying you're going to turn on the flame of sovereignty within yourself, but you can ask yourself these practical questions as you're moving through these great changes. We have the 5 elements oracle. We did 3 of these as well. We have metal tiger. Release your attachments. During this time, you may have been asked to release your attachments to people, places, things, okay? And your nouns. Because in order to move through and get the next pieces of your inner peace, your pleasure and security, which is your birthright, which is where you're going, you're going to have to practically release your attachments. Attachment is not love. Attachment leads to decay. Okay? Anytime we're attached to something, this is universal law. They teach it very forwardly in Kabbalistic astrology and Kabbalah. They teach this and not in a religious way, just to let you know how attachment moves. That Buddhism does this. Any type of even in the Christian religion, it talks about releasing your attachments. Why? Because the attachment leads to decay. That which we are attached to must go through some sort of death. That can look like a relationship ending and falling apart. So when we're codependent, when we're attached, when we're having feeling like we can't make a move forward because we are attached to a place we live or an idea or belief system about ourselves. So you may have grown up poor and you're moving into being wealthy, and there's a belief system that you're attached to that's going to have to go through that transformation in order for you to have that pleasure, inner peace, and security. We have Earth Rat. Change your mindset. Pile 1, you have such beautiful things coming to you, but it's not coming to you if you just sit on your couch and do nothing. The program's going to do what it's going to do, okay? And that being said, if there's, it doesn't mean go out and do something, though you may be asked to do something, but first it's remove your attachments, change your mindset, then make an action step, right? Because we have the wood ox as your third. Knowledge brings wisdom. So there are some areas where there's still some study needed so that you can glean the wisdom from what you just went through. So this eclipse season, in order to get you the pleasure, the inner peace, and the security, you're going to be offered the opportunity to release your attachments, change your mindset, and turn what you have learned, the knowledge from the past, into wisdom for the future. So it's really beautiful. I'm going to pull a couple of tarot cards, and then we're going to wrap it up. But pile 1, this is beautiful. What they're saying is that you actually have birthright opportunities that are about to present themselves. But there is a bit of a warning. There is a bit of constraint that make sure you're not the one putting the obstacles in your path through your belief systems and your attachments. Okay, so if you're attached to somebody that you know, and they're showing you that flame again, some of you are attached to a twin flame story that has been distorted. Twin flame is an energy. It has nothing to do with romance. It can have something to do with romance, but it's not its intention. Its intention is to bring you back to your personal sovereignty and to bring the inner masculine and feminine into balance, to restore them to their rightful places. The divine masculine as hero and the divine feminine as leader. Okay, that's what the twin flame energy is to do. It often comes through romantic relationships, but it can be a child, a parent, a grandparent. So taking away the fantasy attachment story that we've been fed through the program and going, am I in balance and sovereignty within myself? Then you could be a good partner to someone else and have a soulmate. Absolutely. Okay. We're not going to get there through attachment. And so you're being asked to learn from your experiences and move forward. We have 4 of Wands. Okay. Beautiful. We have the Hanged Man. We have the Tower. Heart of Pentacles, which is the which is the Queen of Pentacles, with the Universe, Spirit of Swords, and I'm going to do the 9. Okay, we have Movement of Swords, 3 of Swords, okay, and the Lovers. Overall energy is Judgment. Okay, so the overall energy is Judgment. This has to do with a transformation, okay? Look at these color matches. Spirit's saying, I'm saying what I'm saying. You're coming out of the dark into the light. You're making your transformation. It may feel a bit like how a butterfly goes through the process of metamorphosis, and it turns into goop to become, the caterpillar turns into goop in order to become the butterfly, okay? So this is not a necessarily easy process that you've been through, and Spirit is acknowledging that, hey, Pile 1 has had a pretty hard road lately, and not just lately, they're saying for several years. So it has not necessarily been an easy road for you. 4 of Wands says you're building the stability. This would be the 4 of Flames. Okay, you're building the stability. This is a card of celebration. This is a card of marriage. Often, if you're asking about a love situation, this is also the card of stability after a long time of not having it. It's depicted with the sunflowers here, indicating that the sun is coming out. We have the Hanged Man. Hanged Man is the card of Pisces, and the Hanged Man puts itself into the Hanged Man's tree in order to see from a new perspective. That's what the constraint, the rune of constraint that you've had, that's what that's been about. That's where you are now, okay? Coming up is the Tower. And that tower also is a color match here, okay? So that tower is, I don't think that pile 1, that you expect the amount of changes you're about to have and the positive changes, because you've been so used to life being a little bit upside down. But let me tell you about the bat. The bat is blind. It uses its sonar to move around the world, to fly, to do what it needs to do. But the bat brings us into our spiritual experiences. So many of you may have been going through a spiritual transformation and initiation at this time, and that's why there's been a constraint, because the frequencies weren't balanced yet. Excuse me. Excuse me. The frequencies were not balanced yet. Therefore, it wasn't time to bring what you're bringing to the world into the world yet. It's about to be time. Okay. We have Heart of Pentacles, which is Queen of Pentacles, which is pre-Empress energy. Male or female matters not. We have Buffalo energy that was sustains, and it's for a Capricorn. Excuse me. See, all that's coming up, but Capricorn is also stability, and it's coming under the Four of Wands. Pardon me, I had to cough again. Okay, we have the Universe, which is special to this deck, which basically talks about the universe in its totality. That's part of the Hanged Man tree that you've been in, is to really understand and learn and grow in the knowledge of the universe, so that you can pollinate in the way that you need to moving forward. And then on that line, we have Spirit of Swords, which is Aquarius. Okay. Spirit of Swords is the, excuse me, I think it's a Jack of Swords here. So this is you going through a spiritual initiation. Okay. It does have to do with you being in, they said check that, so let me make sure, because I might be, they use different wording for this. Oh, because it's the King, excuse me. King, I kept looking at Aquarius, like that should be the King. So Spirit of Swords is the King of Swords, okay? So this has to do with you coming into your truth. It does have to do with you using your spiritual knowledge with your intellect, okay? With all of your knowledge, so that you can bring wisdom. This is the King of Truth and speaking your truth. And so you're going to be moving into that. For some of you, because this row has the Tower, Spirit of Swords, and the Lovers, some of you may have someone returning, because we have Judgment, to speak their truth. But this is done in a way of, it is different. And I don't know that you're necessarily going to say yes to them. For those of you that this is you had a background frequency of wanting to learn about love, you may not give them another chance, because you have grown, because you have learned. And unless they bring with them the embodiment inside themselves of security, inner peace, and pleasure, you're likely not going to say yes. But there is a conversation, or the propensity for a conversation coming in. It's going to be quite truthful and shocking to you in a positive way. We have Movement of Swords. Okay. Movement of Swords is your Page of Swords. Very quick moving energy. We have Three of Swords and the Lovers. Okay. In this time, this feels like during this time of constraint, you have had to have an integration. Lovers used to be called, the original name for this card was the card of choice. So this is indicating that you are making a choice at this time, moving forward. And it may be a choice that about someone who broke your heart, or about a situation that broke your heart. There's grief involved with the Three of Swords there. Okay, but what it's saying is you're having this forward movement. You're looking at it differently. For some of you, it's going to be someone that was special to you that passed away, but it's almost like the Tower part that you get is that you get some sort of information, sign, symbol, a dream, a download, or you might even be watching a tarot reading, and they say something that brings in your loved one that has passed, that helps you come to the place of resolution to peace. And you finally get that movement forward that the judgment brings, because judgment is also about inner peace, but it's also about spirit. See, I'm like, it's weird. This is my left ear, and it just started itching. And they showed me, I think it was Carol Burnett back in the day. I don't remember because I didn't watch a lot of those, but they would do this tug on their ear to tell their loved ones that they see them. So that might be something for one of you. That's very specific. So it's not going to be for everyone, but they just gave me the ear like this, like saying, you know, hey, I see you, right? And like you would know that message with that person. But judgment brings spiritual revelation was what I was getting at, but we were interrupted there. So bringing it all together, the eclipse is really giving you some huge changes. I feel like this is on multiple levels for most of you in pile 1. Some of you may even move home, but this feels more like an internal shift, an internal belief system shift. It's like someone turns the lights on and you can't see things in the same way anymore. And it turns the lights on to your birthright of security, inner peace, and pleasure. Okay. So I love that for you. Pile 1, thank you so much. Thank you for joining in, watching, sharing, subscribing, all the beautiful things. I appreciate you. And until next time, aloha. Aloha, pile 2. This is Stephanie with the Whispering Dragonfly coming to you with the question of what positive change is this eclipse season bringing to us. We had an eclipse on September 17th in Pisces. It was a lunar eclipse. We just had the equinox, and then on October 2nd, we have our next eclipse. Every year we have 4 eclipses right around the solstice and the equinox. So we're ushering in the change that is happening. These changes also coincide with some pretty big and erratic energies collectively at this time. So we've got Pluto finishing up its 16-year cycle in Capricorn. So there are major karmic death and rebirth energies going. I will do a whole video on that in particular in the future here. And we have all the eclipses, as well as many other different Uranian aspects. The U.S. in particular is in its Uranus return. So there's a lot of kind of chaotic energy going on, a lot of death, rebirth type of energy. And what we want to look at is the positive frame of it. What is this change and mutative process going to bring for our pile 2, right? Before we get started, I want to say thank you. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Please comment. Please hit that bell button. All those things make my channel grow and expand, and it's free for you to do. The other announcement that I wanted to make is because these energies are so intense, I'm going through my own death and rebirth process. So you haven't seen me on here for a while because I've been in my own change process as well. So, hey, just because we might be on video doesn't mean that we don't get to go through our own changes. So when you're watching people on YouTube or otherwise, they're human too. And integrating the aspects of themselves, right? So I have really been feeling it because I'm Capricorn, Sun and Venus, and I have a lot of Libra in my chart. So this Pluto transit that's happening is rebuilding me, right? Excuse me. So I am offering for my coaching sessions and my sovereignty sessions that through November 19th, when that Pluto goes direct in Aquarius, I'm offering my sessions by donation. Okay, so for those of you who have had a session with me, please comment below how that has helped you. What did you glean from it? That way, people who have been wanting to have sessions but maybe couldn't afford it, that they feel confident and comfortable. Because I can see how it's valuable to have some help discovering your own personal sovereignty and what that looks like as an individual, but having some help along the way. Like, it's always good to have a guide or mentor, but you stay in your own sovereignty. Typically, my sessions are $225 an hour or however long it takes. So those of you who maybe are more blessed now, please, I invite you to, if you can and if it's in your heart, you can purchase one for someone else. And so that way those who cannot pay or can pay very little, that we're all taken care of, right? Because it's like, this is a time where we're all transferring. And I just ask that you ask Spirit, what is the correct donation? And I will be offering that until November 19th. In the description box below is my email. We can work together. Just email me and we'll set up your session. Okay, so enough of that. I'm going to grab a slight drink because I'm, thank you. I'm moving through a bit of a clear here. All right. So what you chose is the archetype card of the threshold, which is amazing. This energy is great. And we have the rune of the self. Okay. So the self brings one back to themselves, but within it is the rune of joy, mirrored image on itself. There's also the rune of breakthrough in the self. So right now what I'm feeling is, excuse me, you are standing at the threshold, okay? The threshold of a whole new life, whole new experience. Some of you may have just had during this eclipse already, or are about to have a spiritual experience, a new life opening, but you're right on the brink of it, okay? So you can see that you're at the gateway there. And how you're going to reconcile this with yourself, what the positive is that these eclipses are coming into, is you're coming into your sovereignty. Pile two. Pile two, you're on the brink of greatness is the word that they're giving me, okay? But that greatness starts from within. And so there's self-concept that is building within you at this time. There's self-worth that's building within you so that you can hold your own. I feel like, because I have some goosebumps going on, or chills. And that lets me know Spirit's with us, right? And so many of you are seers or healers, or in that energy of being able to transmute energy in a way that is really powerful and palpable to other people. And you are, pile two, they're saying this group is actually chosen to be the leaders of these coming changes. And it may feel like you've been kind of in the dark for some years. That seems to be a theme going on here, because we have the darkness right there. But your feet are on the ground. You're grounded. You're about to jump off. This reminds me of the fool's journey. You're about to jump off into the unknown. But with you being in proper relationship with yourself, I feel like that's going to move forward in a beautiful way. But they are saying that you are working through and working on being in proper relationship with yourself, being in balance with your masculine and your feminine. What do we have coming with this eclipse season? Okay, woo, all right, perfect. Those came out all at once there. So in the Destiny cards, we have abundance, we have flow, and we have healing chaos, okay? So pile two, you're moving into a time of abundance. But remember, abundance is, you can have anything in abundance. We're always surrounded by abundance. It's just, do you have an abundance of chaos in a negative way? Because chaos is really useful energy for if you stay in your center. If you stay in yourself, you can use chaos energy in a very beautiful way. Are you staying in your flow, or are you going into chaos? Do you have an abundance of pleasure, happy situations, or is your focus on something that is more chaotic? Are we buying into fear programs, right? So because you are powerful, your birthright is abundance. Okay, your birthright is to open yourself to the flow. And I really like that it's balanced here. We have a daytime meadow garden for abundance, and the flow is actually at night in a full moon. Okay, we just had the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. Excuse me, which has all to do with flow and moving through this Neptunian type of dreamy world. Okay. This one's saying pay attention to your dream time during this time, because what you are bringing in that is positive in this change that you're happening, you're going to start to have flow. And what they're saying is part of healing that chaos, which is what's this is a positive thing that's happening. It's going to feel like a bit like a tornado in a way, but they're showing me the spiritual light tornado in meditation that you do to clear negative energy. So notice that the result of that is all these butterflies coming out of that. So you're about to turn into the butterfly, as it were. You're coming out of your metamorphosis and into abundance. But there is a healing of chaos. Some of you, this threshold, moving into the self, okay, being self-sufficient, being rather than codependent, maybe interdependent, being in a rightful relationship to energy exchange. With this, some of you may be addicted to the adrenaline that comes from chaos, is what they're saying. So part of this, I'm going to have to take a little sip of my tea, as it were. And okay, so many of us, because you guys are coming through as my pile, who are the healers, the leaders of the new, many of us who are those type of workers, where we signed up to come to Earth to be the guides, or to be the change integrators of this new era for humanity. Many of us had very traumatic childhood, or very rough childhood experiences, and in that, that could look like CPTSD. I'm not a doctor, but there's lots of different ways that can show up. But it often comes with an addiction to the adrenaline. It has an addiction to the chaos. So when we're in abundance and flow and peace, excuse me, that can often cause a restlessness. That's why the threshold, they're showing you the rune of gateway, even though that rune did not come up with this. The threshold's the same thing. On the rune of gateway, you take a moment to assess your past, integrate it before you jump off into the sunshine, before you go on your next adventure, before you start that new life, so that you don't bring that with you. And so that is a healing and an integration that's happening right now for you. So the reason that I say that is because even though there's abundance and flow, and there can feel like there's this rainbow unicorn type of energy sometimes in tarot, or sometimes when we're looking at the positive aspects, for me, Spirit also gives, what are the practical steps? What might they be experiencing in order to achieve that, in order to receive that? Because they corrected me, because it's actually receive. You don't have to achieve anything. It's already there. But there's this addiction to the adrenaline and to the chaos, that sometimes when there's not a problem, that pile 2, that you might have a tendency to create a problem when it's too peaceful. Peaceful might feel boring to you at first, okay? But that's going to pass. All right. And so as we're moving through this, so basically what they're saying is you're not through your change process yet, but this is the positive new life that is coming on the other side of that change. And so, so you do get the abundance, and you do get the flow in whichever area of your life that is. We're going to look at the Chinese, what is this called? The Chinese 5 Elements Oracle. These were a really beautiful gift. We have Wood Monkey, choose your battles. Okay, that's part of healing the chaos. Many of you are moving into a sector of your life where you are going to have great abundance, both physically, financially, in love, like in multiple areas of your life. And so some people may not be cool with the changes that are happening because we all have, we have expectations of each other in our lives at times. And when you're changing, you just have to change. So choose your battles. People may come at you. Haters are going to hate, right? So you don't have to respond to every person. Some of you may even be putting in a YouTube channel or some other TikTok or influencer type of situation where you're going to have people who have a bunch of opinions. And so choose your battles, pile 2. And it says you have the strength. You have the strength to move forward with your idea, with your abundance. We have Wood Dragon here. It's a dragon year right now. And then we have Earth Pig. Surrender to the moment. Okay. This is a moment by moment thing for you to come back to yourself. Remember, you got the rune of self, you guys. And so this is a moment by moment. You do have the strength to make this change. What I'm seeing is some of you are, in order to have that abundance and flow, and I see that threshold, some of you may be moving away from a relationship, a job, a situation. Specifically in the relationship, I feel like this person may even have some abusive tendencies, mentally, physically, or otherwise. So I'm so sorry if those of you who are watching this that chose pile 2, that message is for you. But you do have the strength to leave that situation, and you are going to be protected in this, right? So you do have to make your own sovereign choice, though, and make your own steps to move forward with this. Like, tarot can't do the work for you, okay? We can tell you what the energy is based on what's coming up, but ultimately you have to be the one to say, I'm going to have this new life for myself, and though I can't, the energy's gonna just flow, but I can choose where I look. I can choose which direction that I walk in, which path I walk on, okay? So that's about surrendering to the moment. Some of you are going to have a big life change with some movement there, moving away from a painful experience, but into a really beautiful experience. And that's why it feels unsure. And that's also why earlier I offered the donation-based sessions, because this is big changes, and I could feel that with the collective that, people are really going through identity shifts, and pile 2, you're one of them. You're coming into a whole new self, and I'm really proud of you, actually. Like, Spirit's saying, tell them you're proud of them, because this feels like you have had to endure quite a bit in your life, and you may have to get used to things being good. Because when you've been held down for so long, or when it's been extremely challenging to move forward, sometimes it's hard to believe that something can be good, or that the rug's not going to be pulled out from under you. But pile 2, your decisions now are making a beautiful new life for yourself. Yep, I knew we were going to get the full. Okay, so tarot cards, and then we'll finish up. We've got Heart of Swords, 8 of Cups, and Heart of Pentacles. We have, who are you? Spirit of Wands, the Fool, 5 of Cups, 4 of Wands. They want that one over there for later. Wheel of Fortune and Spirit of Pentacles. Beautiful. And then your overall energy is Movement of Swords. So we have the Page of Swords here. There's going to be information and energy coming in that's quick moving. Page of Swords is super quick moving. It's the card of Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So it is a fast moving energy that's coming in. So you're at that threshold. Excuse me. We have the past Heart of Swords. This is the Queen of Swords. excuse me, you have been in a process of really balancing your mind so that you can make the moves that you need to make, so that you can move into the new place for yourself, to be yourself. And we have 8 of Cups, so you're walking away from something, but you do have the strength. Bears are very strong, okay? They chose that animal for a reason. These panthers or jaguars, okay? They are bring you into your spiritual initiation. So Spirit's really saying, okay, your recent past energy and your now energy is you've made your decision already that you're going to count yourself first, and the movement's coming. We have Heart of Pentacles. Okay, Heart of Pentacles is your Queen of Pentacles. It's ruled by Capricorn. Okay, it's a pre-Empress energy. What's that saying to me is you're actually, the buffalo is our abundance. Okay, so we have abundance in Heart of Pentacles. So whether this be moving on your own to yourself, moving on your own to be an entrepreneur, moving somewhere, because I've said movement a couple times and you have movement of swords, moving somewhere new, you have the strength to do it, and you're going to have the financials and the abundance to do it, but it does require you to walk away from something that hasn't been working. The Spirit of Wands in recent past. Okay, Spirit of Wands is the King of Wands, and this is the card of Leo. And some decks call this White Spirit. Let me make sure on that that's the King. Sorry about that, you guys. They call this something different. I think I did this in the last one too. That's funny. Well, I would rather us know, wouldn't you? Card of Wands. Yeah, Spirit of Wands is the King. Okay, beautiful. So, King of Wands. The salamander's there because the salamander represents protection, spiritual protection, and salamanders in traditional tarot, the king has the salamander on them, and it means that they cannot be harmed by fire. Okay, so this fire of transformation, this threshold, the fire of transformation and the sunshine energy that you're moving into, because Leo is ruled by the sun, you cannot be burned by it. So this is the Fool is your next card in the now. This is an empty-handed leap into the void. Okay, what they're saying is take the risk. All right. We have 5 of Cups in near future position. This can speak of regret, but it feels like with how this is set up, the regret is in your own heart and mind. Like, it's not actually real. It's a challenge that you might go through in the sense of feeling like, oh man, should I go back to my own old ways? It's like you're not fully into your new self yet, and that's okay. We all go through that. So that 5 of Cups is saying you might feel a little restless in your heart in the future after you made this leap of faith, but that leap of faith is actually going to bring you abundance in multiple ways, because here we have 4 of Wands. 4 of Wands is in recent past. It does have to do with marriage, foundation. It's like you've been reconsidering your foundations in business, marriage, how you treat yourself, what are your value systems. But it's a positive card because it's saying to me that just in recent past, you've gotten to yourself and you've gotten to the conclusion that, you know what, I am going to do what I need to do to move forward on my path in a way that is beautiful. This feels so both unsure of yourself, like I don't know how, I'm lost, I have no idea where I am, and at the same time, I choose me, and I know that my higher self, source, and universe, they know what to do, because in the now you have Wheel of Fortune. Your now is 8 of Cups, the Fool, and Wheel of Fortune. You are making an empty-handed leap into the void, but it's saying your fortunes are changing by moving forward with your heart, moving forward with your own strategy and authority, moving forward with what is going to be best for you, what's your trip, what you're here to do, yields a fortune. Because then we have Spirit of Pentacles, which is King of Pentacles. card of Taurus. This is King of Pentacles is the entrepreneur card. It is the husband card in the deck. It's the card that says there is stability financially and also in your values and in your systems of thought, in your systems of how you do your day-to-day life, your self-concept. There is solid connection there. So while you may feel a little restless, the other cards around it in your near future, you've got a little like, oh, what did I just do? But you're surrounded by the Queen and the King of Pentacles. Okay, this is a solid couple. This is one of my favorite couples because it says your resources are taken care of. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to be looking for love or getting into a couple. But what this does say is that in your heart system, which is a vortex, you're going to balance your masculine and feminine sides, and it yields abundance. It yields richness of spirit, physical and financial wealth. But there are steps for you to take, and there are things and people and belief systems to walk away from. But I feel like you're pretty resolved, pile 2. And then we had a random card fall on top of your other cards, and it said to wait till later. We have 4 of Cups. Okay. You've got your back turned to the new life. And what they're saying is these 3 cups may have spilled out, but you've got a whole new cup here that is solid. It's got your back. Okay. You may need to turn and look at it, at what's being offered to you. So just what they're saying is just be reminded, part of that healing of the chaos is where's your focus? Okay, you've got these 3 cups in your field that have already, these ones are upright, but these are the 3 cups that have spilled out in traditional tarot. And you're looking out here contemplating, okay? So you're out here contemplating something, but your life that you're moving into, this chaos that you're healing, that's been, I'm looking at it, it's like the foundation that he's sitting on, okay? Like you've squashed it, you're sitting on it, and then what has your back is this new life. And this new life is what you love, what you feel, what interests you. Okay, so if this is a business, you might be risking a little bit to do that empty-handed leap into the void and try something new. But it's something that you love. It's what your heart's pulled towards. It's a mission-oriented type of thing, and that's going to have your back. Okay, but you will build upon what you've already completed, and that'll support you from underneath because it turns into wisdom. Okay, so thank you guys so much. I'm going to leave it there. I'm really happy for you. I know that it's not comfortable because I can feel this energy, and I know some of you are very scared to do what's best for you. I do feel like that this is a direct pile 2, you're having a direct test of your faith right now, but it does yield great results. And I know every time I've taken the risk to move past my fear, I have always been supported by the universe and otherwise. And so, you know, I can't make your decisions for you, but I just want to encourage you as an example that, you know, there is light on the other side of this. So as you're remembering and healing that chaotic energy, use it. Use that chaos to propel you towards the life that you love and want and what you value and what's your self-concept, okay? That and so go with the flow because the flow is opening for you. And now I will leave it. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. And until next time, aloha. Aloha, pile 3. This is Stephanie with the Whispering Dragonfly coming to you with the question, pick a card, of what positive changes, what good things are coming in for you with this eclipse season. So on September 17th, 2024, while this is a timeless reading, these are the energies that are around. We had a lunar eclipse in Pisces. We've just had the equinox, the fall equinox here in the Northern Hemisphere on the 22nd. And then October 2nd, we will be doing a solar eclipse, okay? So eclipses bring energy in quickly and it brings energy out quickly. So things that need to be changed, purged, moved, that happens. It eclipses in and out. It creates like a portal, a funnel. The energy is ripe for that. We also have some energies happening that are very change worthy, a bit volatile actually. Collectively right now, we are going through a huge change. We're going through an era shift. Pluto is in its last weeks of Capricorn. So that's a 16-year cycle. It will be moving into Aquarius on November 19th. I'm going to do a separate video about Pluto and Capricorn and what this changes, what this is meaning for the collective. But there are some pretty intense energy. The CUS is moving into its Uranus return, which Uranian energy is very unexpected change, can be very volatile, systems are changing. So there's a lot going on right now. Everyone collectively is going through some sort of death and rebirth process or a purging, a purification process. So be gentle with yourselves. On that note, I want to say thank you. First off, thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, hitting the bell button, commenting. All of those are free ways which you can support the channel and move us forward here. So as many people as possible, especially now, can receive the energies that are correct or resonant for them, because we are in a time where more than ever, we need to support one another, right? In any way that we can. And so Spirit has put it on my heart that until November 19th, all of my sessions, my coaching sessions and my sovereignty sessions are going to be done by donation only, okay? So please donate what you can. For those of you who have been wanting to have a session with me but haven't been able to afford it, donate what you can. For those of you who have had sessions with me or have had mentorship with me, please in the comments below, share your experience with others so that they can assess for themselves if I'm the right person to guide and help them in their personal sovereignty. The other thing that I do ask and I'm inviting is those of you who have been blessed and who are going through a time of thriving and wealth, I would recommend or invite you to pay it forward, that you could pay for somebody else who maybe can't donate or can donate very little at this time. That we can support each other so everyone gets their assistance along the way, because we all need, we have our personal sovereignty, but we all need a little help at times to move through our shifts and changes and to have someone witness outside of us our patterns so that we can make the changes, okay? So if you want a session with me, that will be in the description box below. Just email me. We will set that up. And I'm happy to offer this because I just really think we're at that time, right? You guys, so love you, and let's get on with your reading. Okay, so you all chose the sword and opening, the rune of opening. The sword here is the archetype. We have the, and funny, I'm thinking of this as the eclipse, like bright moon and you know, the dark around the moon, yin yang, that kind of thing, right? The sword is Archangel Michael's sword of truth. As an archetype, the sword does many things. It pierces through the veil and creates an opening. This is very congruent energy that you guys have going on. I do feel like with the lightning rod that's, going down through this, is that what's coming in for you, that's the positive change, is that Pile 3, there's about to be some quick or shocking change, but there's truths that are revealed. There's conversations that are had. There's cutting through the BS. Okay, so that creates an opening, and we're going to look a little further into what that opening is. For some, this will be an opening in relationships. For some, this is an opening in energy, because it's almost like, as I'm looking at this and feeling it, what I'm hearing is that it cuts through even some of the internal stuff, because it's like I can feel like, and I've had personally some things changing in my, so I've had a little bit of a cough going on, right? So I've got my own purging thing that's happening. What I'm feeling is that as this energy moves through, it's almost like opens up the breath for you. I feel like, oh, like what was stuck is now moving forward. You can see the light. We have things open and eyes open. And interestingly enough, this is not going to be for everyone. But I just saw, I just experienced a birth and being a baby, opening their eyes for the first time. So some of you, that might be literal. So some of you might be birthing a baby or conceiving a baby during this time. That opening might happen. In many of you, that's going to be figurative or spiritual. But anyway, it goes. I feel like this is the opening of birth that is happening for this group. Okay. Oh, okay. 1, 2. We're going to get 3 of these cards. Beautiful. All right. So we got courage, wonders, and happiness. Okay, beautiful. So we have courage for wonders and happiness. I feel like for many of you that this one, those of you who chose the sword, it's this is manyfold, but what is opening for you, the change that's happening is that you're going to have the courage to speak your truth. For some of you, it's going to be like how I do it on YouTube or publicly. For some of you, it's going to be directly to a companion or your person of interest, like it could be love related. For some of you, it's speaking up to your boss at work that you would like to have a raise. It's like things that that has felt stuck in the chest. I keep feeling like I've got this truth, this word that needs to be said, but I'm like, I can't say it. And you're going to have the courage to do that. Okay. Having that courage to face the fears and say, I keep hearing, say what you need to say. I do not own the rights to that song, but it's like, say what you need to say, because then what comes out is the wonders of the universe. And then we have happiness with the dolphins. Okay. Dolphins are super playful. They have sonar. I also feel like for some of you, you might be closety in your spirituality. Some of you might be really fantastic with the crystal kingdom, because I saw that on this page, or with the dolphins with the sonar. You maybe do the crystal bowls, or you do some sort of something with sound or with ocean animals, whatever it might be. But I feel like for many of you, you feel like it might be too weird or it might be too whatever. And you're going to have the courage to break through that. And it opens up a whole new world for you. I feel like it opens up a space for community for you, as well as, even financially for a lot of you. I keep seeing money coming in from being brave enough for you to say what it is that you needed to say, or to admit something to someone. So some of you, it's as small as you've had a crush on somebody and you need to admit that, and it opens the door. For some of you, it is saying, hey, I have been doing this much work, and it's time for me to have a raise, right? And so, though, what do they say? It's like, tell your truth, even if your voice squeaks, okay? Even if you have to say it quietly, open that door, right? And that'll be opening itself. So here's how you get to not only your courage, but your wonders and your happiness. And we're using the 5 Elements Oracle for this. With Metal Tiger, I believe that was in pile 1. It's release your attachments. Okay, so let me explain the difference between attachment and love. Attachment to anything that can look like trauma bonding. It can look like holding on too tight. Attachment can be, say you're at a ropes course or something like that, and you need to jump off of something, but you're holding on to the rope so tight that you're actually causing yourself to bleed. That's attachment, okay? Love is liberation. So attachment means that something has to decay, because if you hold on too tightly to something, right? It's like, what happens if you hold on too tightly to, that's what strangulation is, right? I mean, that's pretty harsh example, but that's the one they just gave me, is if you don't let up on somebody, like in that, you take the whole breath and life force away from it. So holding on too tight either squishes somebody or takes the breath away or life away. Or something, okay? So even in a dream that you have about something that you want an opening for, release your attachment to it. If you're going to go ask for a raise, release your attachment to actually getting it, okay? Go through the process of, what if I say this and they laugh at me? What if I say this and they reject me? What if I say this and they tell me no? Go through that beforehand and all those scenarios, and then go through, what if they say yes? What if they accept me? What if it does go right? Go through all the positive sides, and then release your attachment to the outcome whatsoever. That's what Metal Tiger is offering you. Because then next you've got Water Rabbit, the sweetness of a quiet love, okay? And then you have Earth Ox, one with the universe. With this, okay, I feel like many of you are going to have an opening here that pierces through the veil spiritually, okay? So at the highest level of this particular energy, at the highest level, you're going to have a spiritual opening or awakening, and it's this, you release the attachment of being even human for a moment, and you become one with the everything, and it is the sweetness of the quiet love. And some of you may experience that at that level of, whoa, we are all connected, we are all one. And so so some of you, it's as profound as the wonderment of that, and that happiness and ecstasy that you feel in that moment. For some of you, it's releasing the attachment to the outcome, at its base level, 3D. Let's go 3D level. We've got a job. You ask for a raise. It keeps coming up as that's just an example that they're giving me, but it must be for someone specifically, because it's a very specific energy. But that's the other option. Right, I do feel like there's a healing force that is growing in you, because look at this lady. She's got her third eyes glowing. She's got her Tai Chi going. We've got the glow underneath the rabbit. Okay, again, I'm getting this childlike energy for those of you that have been wanting to have a child. This is the sweetness of a quiet love is in that water rabbit, feels very much like a child. It feels like an infant. Okay, so that can be physical, because people will be like, well, Stephanie, not all of us want. No, it's not for everybody. It's not going to always be literal, but that infant inside of you, if it's not an actual physical baby, though some of you have physical child coming. And that's the result of this eclipse, that you get some news that pierces through. It really opens up the way for you. Let's get your tarot cards while I'm talking. So yeah, it's how can I say that? It's interesting. It's like, as I'm trying to talk, I'm just feeling into the quietness of it, and I'm feeling like, it feels like Cool. We open this up and there's nothing more that needs to be said. This feels like, you know, when you hug a lover that just calms your nervous system, that it's not about lust, that you can just be in each other's arms and just be there and nothing needs to be said. This is that energy, and it's so happy and it's so filled with wonder, but it's not that boisterous type of joy or that over exuberance. It's that, I'm here, that opening. This is what that feels like, and that can be with a lover. It doesn't have to be. It's that same energy that just is that sweet, sweet inner quiet, inner love that just feels so secure and so held. And I really love this for you because I feel like for some of you, you've been like in a full-out battle. Some of you, what I'm hearing is a custody battle. So there's something with kids in this reading for pile 3. Some of you are actual parents, or there's been battle. It feels like spiritual battle. But anyway it goes, I feel like you guys, like, it feels like you're coming back from war almost, and finally getting to have that opening of love and nourishment and relaxation. So I really like this. It does take releasing your attachments, okay? Cool. Some of you, this is actual, we just got justice, movement of cups. Some of you, this is actual legal battle, okay? That is not going to be for everyone. But what it's showing is that there's balance happening because we've got the sword again. And it feels like it goes in your favor, pile 3, okay? Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, it's like you're having to integrate because these cards are kind of wanting to do its own thing. Pile 2 had that in that location. All right. Let's see. Let me get these out here and then we'll talk about it. Okay. All right. Cool. We have 4 of Pentacles as your main energy. What this feels like is actually, this feels pretty positive because 4 of Pentacles can be stingy or the miser, but this is actually, feels like you're building a foundation, that you're squirreling away like your monies at this time. But also, you're really building a foundation of what do you value? What brings in, because squirrels are typically pretty happy, right? So what brings in that happiness? What brings in that sustenance and resources and, you know, having plenty for the harder times, right? And so it's like there's this energy that you've had to do that, but also that you're just being smart about your energy, who you give that to, some of you, and your finances and what you value. Okay, so past energies. We have the Justice. This is recent past. Justice, Ace of Pentacles, and Heart of Wands. Heart of Wands is the Queen of Wands, which is, who we got there? Aries, yeah. And so, makes me want to pass out a little bit. Okay, so we've got, male or female matters not. I feel like the divine feminine part of you really stepped into their power, and at the same time you've had to be a little bit in order to balance, you've had to wear some masks and you've had to be a bit of a chameleon because foxes are cunning, okay? And notice that they've got this it feels like they're hiding in the bush a little bit, but you've got your eye on the prize. So it's like, while you might have been camouflage in some ways, it was on purpose, especially if you've had real legal battles. This Ace of Pentacles, again, is an opening. So if it hasn't happened yet, because this is in your recent past position, then it's about to. Ace of Pentacles is slow, okay, energy. That being said, it's an opening in whatever it may be for you guys that you're bringing in here, that's going to be the happiness. There's a balance that has just occurred. You either got some information, but that is opening the door to growth. Ace of Pentacles is solid. It grows step by step. Okay, it's you know, see, this is a baby buck. All right, it'll grow into a big buck, and it'll grow. But it's like, if it's finances, it's like a little bit of money that will grow into a big money. If it's a love offer, it's a little offer for a date that grows into a big commitment. But it's like you've been magnetic and really starting to open that up in yourself and be okay with it. And that's starting to yield results. Okay. In the now, we have movement of cups, which is your page of cups. We've got Pisces here. We have 5 of swords, and we've got Earth Mother. Okay. Listen, with page of cups, this can be fantasy. This can be children. This can be, this is the movement of the heart. It's if pigs can fly kind of energy. So I feel like you're dreaming. We just had that Pisces eclipse. What I'm feeling in your energy is there's a little bit of restlessness in your mind. Okay, the 5 of swords says that you're kind of restless in your mind. You've got multiple people's opinions, because what I'm feeling is like you've got sharks around you. Okay, but what they're suggesting is in this moment, we've got Earth Mother, go ahead and ground. Be with Mother Earth as much as possible, because that's going to give you the opening and the wonder that's going to move you into the next energies. Remember that you are being asked to have courage at this time. For some of you, like I said, you've been going through some battles, and that can be in any way. That can be legal battles, mental health, etc. I feel for you, because I feel like a little confused in this energy. I feel like there's a lot of different opinions around me. I feel like kind of high, even though I haven't had anything, you know, just sitting in this energy. I'm having a hard time putting all of it together. So I feel like you have had so much inputs that it's like finally this sword of truth is about to come in and open the door for you. So you can just go, okay, this is the foundation that I'm having. I have the courage to see this process through, because I'm here for my happiness and for wonder. Okay, be in nature. It's going to give you more of that. Okay, more wonder, more fulfillment. Okay, we have Heart of Cups, which is the Queen of Cups, and it's represented by Cancer. We have 5 of Cups and 2 of Swords. All right, so near future, you're going to be in your new power. You have the opening to go into your heart. Okay, Queen of Cups knows how to deal with their emotions, and they're very, very balanced. I'll say we have 5 of Cups with it, and we have the 2 of Swords. So even though your mind's going to be unsure and your heart's a little bit restless, okay, this is saying, did I do the right thing? But 5 of Cups in the traditional tarot has 3 cups that have spilled over, and they have a 2 of Cups that is still standing. And 2 of Cups is your commitment and relationship. Okay, it says that the balance within your heart has sustained the change. This is a change. So you may be changing where you give your affection, your emotional state, okay? And that might seem a little confusing, or you might be blind to it, but what it's saying is that you're not bound. Let me do, I would actually like to clarify this 2 of Swords, so I'm going to, because I get to do that. Whoa, I just saw some sort of light thing come behind me. All right. Oh my gosh. Okay, 2 of Swords is still 4 of Pentacles. So our base card just came out. And 4 of Swords. Okay. So I feel like you're going to have more information that's needed. You're being asked to rest. And so what you don't see in this battle that you've been having, in this chaotic type of energy, is that you are going to have a time for stability, and you are going to have a time to rest. This is actually about retreat. Okay. So however things go, this opening that's happening is to actually help you to retreat and to heal yourself and to have some peace for a minute, whichever way you go with this. And this is so positive because I feel like you've been battling for quite some time. Now, I will say, near future energies, that your mind and your heart may still be in battle mode. You may still be integrating that. So while all these positive changes are happening, you've got to allow the flow to come through. So the way to do that is to be one with the universe, however you do that. If that's going out into nature, awesome. If that's meditating, awesome, right? If that's, I like to take drives, and I drive around the island and the nature inspires me, and I have my talks with my spirit guides and get it out and get my mind right. So for me, driving is a bit of a meditation, not always, but when it's for that purpose, right? So it may look like a lot of different things, but it's be one with the universe, because you're about to have this opening, and they're really saying you're going to have resolution to multiple things in your life that felt like they were closed off. It does require courage. Remember, you got courage here. But take your steps forward, because you're going to come out with a balanced emotions, feeling in your power, okay? It's still a very motherly energy. So there's something with children on this one, you know, and all I can say is if it has to do with children, Spirit's like, we've got you. It's going to be all right, you know? So that's clearly not going to be for everyone, but they're being very, very clear that though your mind may tell you a lot of different things, be one with the universe, be with the quiet love, give up your attachments to how things are supposed to go, no matter what this opening is. And for many of you, you're about to have a spiritual opening, okay? If you haven't already. And this is an upgrade. And at that time, you may be unsure of where your affections are, or am I on the right path? I don't see the way forward, but you'll feel the way forward, and it'll be shown to you at just the right times, okay? But you are being asked to release your attachments to get to your opening, but lots of doors are opening for you, and things I feel like that you felt needed a miracle. It feels like that's what this is opening. You're going to let go of some imbalanced thinking, fighting, all of that, and move into this other space that really does get you into the sweetness of that quiet love. They really are feeling into this quietness inside the self. Okay, be in your lotus as you go through whatever these processes are, because this energy lasts for about 6 months. So I feel like you're still going to be in process through this 6 months, pile 3. This isn't instantaneous, but you are going to have the openings that you need to achieve the happiness and to achieve, you're going to be in awe and wonder of how everything moves forward for you to get resolution. So this pile has a lot more to do with resolution than the other piles did, but I'm happy for you. I feel like allow yourself to be comfortable with the unknown at this time. That is the gift, because then you will have the answers on the other side of it, but you're going to be tested a little on your faith, but it is balancing out. Okay, so I'm leaving it there. Thank you so much. Until next time, aloha.